Hello, and welcome to the Cipherracket. I am your host. This is episode number 3. Today's topic will be about the self, the image we have about ourselves, an individual's own being, knowledge, and values. The self as a cipherracket, a philosophical blueprint. Of all the external systems we've analyzed, perhaps the most profound and challenging is the one that operates within us. The metaphor of a personal cipher racket is a powerful lens through which to view the human condition, reframing the lifelong search for peace and meaning not as a gentle journey, but as an act of profound internal espionage, an effort to crack the code of our own being. The cipher represents the core hidden self, pure, untainted, and often encrypted by time, trauma, expectation, and illusion. It's your soul's raw code buried under social programming, ego, and survival mechanisms. It's the child's unfiltered joy, the adolescent's passionate sense of justice, the quiet, intuitive voice that whispers what is right for you, even when it makes no logical sense. Social encryption, as the psychologists Carl Jung described, we develop a persona, a social mask. This mask is necessary for navigating the world. It's the professional self, the polite self, the compliant self. But as Jung warned, the danger lies in mistaking the mask for our actual face. We receive messages from parents, teachers, and society about which parts of our true self are acceptable. The messy, loud, vulnerable, and unconventional parts are taught to be suppressed. They are encrypted, hidden away, not out of malice, but for survival. Encryption of trauma, painful experiences of rejection, failure, heartbreak, all act as powerful encryption keys to protect itself from further harm. The psyche locks away the vulnerable parts of the self that were hurt. A person who was shamed for their creativity might encrypt that part of themselves, living a life of rigid logic, while a cipher of artistic potential lies dormant within. The shadow self. The cipher also contains the shadow, the parts of ourselves we deny and repress because we deem them unacceptable or dark. These aren't necessarily evil. They can be primal instincts like anger, ambition, or sexuality. By locking those in the cipher, we don't destroy them, we just lose conscious control. And they often leak out in unintended ways, projecting our own hidden flaws onto others. To know this cipher is to engage in the work of self realization. It requires archaeology, not architecture. You are not building a self, you are excavating the one that is already there. The racket, noisy prison of the mind. If the cipher is the quiet truth, the racket is the loud lie. It is the relentless, chaotic noise of the unexamined mind, a fraudulent scheme that promises safety but delivers only stagnation. Its primary function is to keep you from ever sitting in silence long enough to hear the cipher's message. The racket manifests in several ways. The internal monologue of anxiety and self doubt. This is the constant chatter of what if and I'm not enough. It is a feedback loop fueled by past failures and future fears. Every time you consider taking a risk that aligns with your true self, starting a business, loving someone, creating art, the racket screams about all the ways it could go wrong. It masquerades as being realistic, but it is a prison guard disguised as a financial advisor. Tyranny of social comparison. In our hyper connected world, the racket is amplified 1,000 times. It's an endless scroll that presents a curated, flawless version of everyone else's life, creating a constant, gnawing sense of inadequacy. The racket uses these images to shout that your cipher, your quiet, imperfect, authentic life is worthless in comparison. The pressure of external expectations. This is the noise of shoulds. You should have a better job by now. You should be married. You should be happier. This racket is the internalized voice of 1,000 different externalized pressures, a chaotic chorus that drowns out the singular, quiet voice of your own true potential. This racket isn't random, it's orchestrated by your upbringing, media consumption, education systems, even well meaning people projecting their unresolved fears onto you. Solving your own cipher racket. To solve your personal cipher racket is to unmask your cipher and disarm your racket. You have to become a code breaker. The meaning of life, from this perspective, is not a destination to be found, but an act of decryption to be performed. It is the process of silencing the racket long enough to read the cipher. The solution is not to despair, but to rebel. In our metaphor, this is the act of sitting with the racket, acknowledging its noise and chaos, and choosing to work on the cipher anyway. You find meaning in the act of decryption, even if the world sees it as pointless. Decode your own patterns. Journaling, therapy, psychedelics, solitude, whatever tools you use, the goal is the same. Unravel the encryption of your beliefs and reactions. Mute the racket. You don't fight noise with more noise. You pause, you listen, you learn to hear the gaps between the racket where your real voice lives. Transcend the mask. Stop performing. Stop pleasing. Stop pretending. The greatest rebellion is authenticity in a world of mimicry. Peace isn't found by destroying the dark parts of your cipher, but by bringing them into the light of consciousness. This shadow work involves in acknowledging your capacity for anger, jealousy, and selfishness. By integrating them, you don't become them. You rob them of their unconscious power. The racket of self judgment quiets down because you no longer are terrified of what's inside you. You become whole. Practicing mindfulness. This is the most direct tool for quieting the racket. In this practice of observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment, as you watch the stream of anxiety and doubt, you begin to realize a fundamental truth. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. This creates a space between you and the racket. In that space of silence, the signal from the cipher can finally get through. So many people ask, what is the meaning of life? The Cipherracket metaphor flips the question. Life isn't something you find meaning in. It's something you decrypt. Just like ancient codes, your life has clues, repetitions, distortions, and even false leads. But deep within all the racket, your cipher is quietly humming about your childhood fascinations, about your irrational joys, about your deep disgusts, about the moment you cry and don't know why. The cipher speaks in symbols. The racket screams in urgency. To awaken is to stop obeying the racket and start decoding the cipher. The hidden meaning of life is this courageous, lifelong process of turning inward. The world will try to convince you that you are your noise, but beneath the noise is a frequency only you can hear. That's your cipher. Decode it, live it. That's the quiet rebellion. That's peace. The Cipherracket of the soul. I woke inside a world of schemes where dreams were taught to fear their screams, where truth was locked behind a gate and sold back slowly, sealed as fate. They told me who to be, not why, to nod and smile, obey, comply, to chase the things they said would fill the hollow place they'd help instill. They gave me titles, names, and roles, but never spoke about my soul. Just rules and scripts and dead routines. Just saints in suits behind machines. But deep inside, a whisper stirred, a voice too pure to cage in words. It burned through noise, through shame, through pride. A cipher I could never hide. It hummed beneath the world's charade, where shadows danced and light they made. It asked me, are you truly free? Or just a mask they made you to be? And there it was, my soul's lament, a truth encoded, accident, a spark that fought the silent war beneath the lies I once swore for. The racket roared with practiced teeth. It fed me guilt. It sold me grief. It wrapped me in a gilded cage and taught me how to swallow rage. It dressed me in approved attire, then smothered every real desire. It said, don't ask, just play your part. Truth is a burden. Kill your heart. But no, I couldn't die that slow. A soul too deep, a mind to grow. So I rebelled. I tore the thread. I chased the truth. The silence said, I fought the racket with my will, with sleepless nights when time stood still, with broken mirrors, burning script. I cut the leash, I let truth rip. I faced the cipher, raw, alive, a part of me they can't deprive. It wasn't neat, it wasn't clean, but it was real, and that was seen. Now every breath I take, I own. I walk through life, not carved in stone. I am the glitch inside their code, the one who cracked the mother lode. So if you hear that whisper too, that aching song that cuts right through, don't turn away, don't drown in doubt. Let it erupt and call you out. The Cipherracket haunts us all, but some still hear the ancient call to shed the lie, to stand up whole, to solve the cipher of the soul. Today's topic about the self as a Cipherracket is because this needs to be exposed in this deceitful world we are living in. Many of us are focused on external hypocrisy and double standards and never point the mirror at ourselves. Truth and convenience. I say I want the truth, but only when it doesn't threaten our comfort, job, or beliefs. Demand honesty from others, but lie to ourselves about our own motives. Call out fake news, but share whatever headline agrees with our bias. Preach critical thinking, yet rarely question what we emotionally want to be true. Criticize propaganda while unknowingly spreading it to feel validated. Cipherracket translation. We decrypt the lies we dislike, but encrypt the ones that serve our ego. Money and morality. Condemn corporate greed, yet chase every sale, bargain, or personal gain with equal hunger. Demand higher wages while supporting cheap products made by underpaid labor overseas. Speak against materialism, but define success through possessions and status. Hate the system, but still depend on it for comfort and convenience. Say money doesn't buy happiness, yet panic when we don't have enough. Cipherracket translation. We curse the currency while worshiping its power. Time and priorities. Say, I don't have time for truth, health, or self growth, yet spend hours scrolling distraction feeds. Claim to value family, but spend more energy impressing strangers online. Preach patience, but rage at every inconvenience. Complain about stress while constantly inviting chaos into our own schedule. Promise to live in a moment while living for the next notification. Cipherracket translation. We say We're too busy to wake up because sleep is safer than seeing. Empathy and ego post about kindness, but gossip behind backs. Demand forgiveness, but hold grudges like trophies. Condemn bullying, yet participate in digital mob attacks. Claim to love humanity, but despise individuals who think differently. Say, I'm a good person, while ignoring the quiet suffering we could ease by just speaking up. Cipherracket translation. We weaponize virtue to conceal our vanity. Environment and entitlement. Talk about saving the planet, but waste energy, food, and water daily. Mock pollution while driving everywhere alone. Complain about corporations destroying nature, but keep buying their products. Blame the system for climate collapse while refusing personal sacrifice. Demand private sector style productivity, but enjoy public sector level accountability. None. Cipherracket translation. We want green progress as long as it costs nothing in comfort. Freedom and control. Demand freedom of speech, but try to silence opposing voices. Cry for liberty while outsourcing our thinking to influencers and politicians. Claim independence, yet seek validation from crowds. Say, nobody tells me what to do, yet live entirely by societal scripts. Celebrate rebellion while fearing true individuality. Cipherracket translation. We confuse freedom with the illusion of choice. Morality and projection. Judge corruption in leaders, but justify deceit in our own small circles. Condemn hate while hating the haters. Preach equality, but secretly rank people by class, looks, and usefulness. Demand justice only when it benefits our side. Talk about unity while feeding division. Cipherracket translation. The shadows we see in others are the reflections of our own unhealed guilt. The ultimate mirror. We call politicians corrupt, yet our silence and apathy are the soil that grows their corruption. We curse the media for lying, yet we reward them for with our clicks and outrage. We despise manipulation, but manipulate reality to fit our comfort zone. We scream for truth, but flinch when it asks for sacrifice. We blame the system when caught, but are the system when unchallenged. Cipherracket revelation. The greatest deception is not what we are told, it's what we tell ourselves to stay blind to the insanity we are living in. The insanity we call normal. I'm not trying to tell everyone to be perfect. That's not the point. Perfection is just another illusion trapped in the labyrinth of expectations we've built around ourselves. What I'm trying to do is open people's eyes to the insanity we've learned to call normal. The world around us is not sane, it's just familiar. We've mistaken repetition for truth and routine for reality. We wake up each day and play roles written by systems we never questioned. We complain about corruption, but cheat our own conscience when it's convenient. We condemn lies, yet lie to ourselves every time we pretend things are fine. It's easier that way to live half awake, to blame others, to scroll past the truth, because it burns when it touches your comfort zone. If we truly want change, we have to start where it hurts the most, in the mirror. Change doesn't begin with elections, protests, or speeches. It begins with reflection, the uncomfortable kind that shows what we have become and how we've helped build the very corruption we despise. But here's the catch. When we lie to ourselves about the truth, what do we expect to see? Not the truth, only the reflection of our own denial. And when that illusion cracks, instead of facing it, we lie again. We double down. We build stronger walls around weaker souls. That's the loop. That's the insane loop of lies feeding corruption, corruption feeding comfort, comfort feeding more lies. A self sustaining machine of delusion. It never ends until someone dares to step outside of it. Not by being perfect, but by being honest. So, no, I'm not trying to make anyone perfect. I'm just trying to make us see. Because the first step to sanity isn't fixing the world, it's realizing the world is broken because we are afraid of ourselves. And maybe, just maybe, when enough of us find the courage to look honestly in that mirror, the loop of insanity will finally break. So I have to ask, when you look in the mirror, what do you see? Self defense isn't just physical, it's also spiritual. Protect your mind, question your comfort. Bravery isn't fighting others, it's facing yourself. Courage starts in the mirror. That's your first battlefield. Defend your soul like it's under attack, because it is. Thank you for listening. I'll be back soon with more. So, again, welcome to the Cipherracket. Welcome to the Renaissance. Welcome to the revolution.